Okay. Yeah. Today మనం డిస్కస్ చేయబోయే టాపిక్ ఏంటంటే IPsec, which is an important in every firewall. In every firewall perspective, this feature is a very important because this is an IPsec, which is also called as Internet Protocol Security, where when we are sending traffic from one side to other side. Other side means, let us say, there is an XYZ company where their branch offices, one is in Hyderabad, one is in Bangalore. Okay, they want to send, how these branch offices are connected. One branch office is connected to their local ISP. From their local ISP, it is connected to the internet. From the internet, again, it is going to the ISP of that Bangalore branch. From that ISP to, it is connected to the Bangalore branch, like this. Okay, from Hyderabad to Bangalore. So whenever you are sending in one information or some information from Hyderabad side to Bangalore side, it is transversing via IPsec, sorry, not IPsec, ISP, internet, and again going to the ISP, and it is going to the Bangalore side. So whenever you are sending some traffic, it should not be compromised. Compromise means it should, మనకి మనం ఏదైతే సెండ్ చేస్తున్నామో డేటాని, సెండ్ చేసే డేటాని మనం ఎవరు కూడా చూడకూడదు. అదేవిధంగా ఎవరు యాక్సెస్ చేయడానికి వీల్లేదు. సో ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు అచీవ్ దట్, we are configuring IPsec tunnel between this Hyderabad and Bangalore side, so that whatever the traffic we are sending, it will be secured. It will be sending in a secure manner. Okay, got it? Why we use IPsec? This is an important feature where every firewall vendor will be using. Okay, in order to send an data or information from one side to another side in a secure manner. This IPsec is also called as site-to-site VPN. Okay. In this module, what is our agenda means, we have to know what is IPsec. Already I have discussed now. Okay. IPsec, why we use IPsec. And in IPsec, this is a protocol that we are using, Internet Key Exchange. And in this IKE, we have two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. These are also called IPsec phase 1 and phase 2. And in the phase 1, we have two modes, main mode and aggressive mode. And also in this main mode, what is main mode and where we can use main mode. Also, we can discuss about aggressive mode, where we can use aggressive mode, and what is main difference between main mode and aggressive mode. Okay. In the phase 2, we have only one mode, only quick mode. Okay. And these are the IKE phase 1 modes. And IPsec modes, we have two. One is in transport mode, one is in tunnel mode. And after this phase 1 and phase 2 and IPsec mode, we have IPsec protocols. Once phase 1 and phase 2 is up, our actual data will be carried by these protocols, okay, in the IPsec. Once phase 1 is up, phase 2 is up, and our actual data means whatever the information we are sending from, మనం ఏదైతే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ హైదరాబాద్ సైడ్ నుంచి బెంగళూరు సైడ్ కి సెండ్ చేస్తున్నామో, దీస్ ఆర్ ద ప్రోటోకాల్స్. ఈ ప్రోటోకాల్స్ యాక్చువల్ డేటాని క్యారీ చేసాయి అనమాట, ఇన్ ఏ సెక్యూర్ మేనర్. ఓకే, we will discuss more about this. In the IPsec, this is an IPsec, which is a frame that helps us to protect IP traffic on the network layer. In the name itself, it is an IPsec. So it is protecting traffic on the network layer. Because IP protocol itself doesn't have any security feature at all, and IPsec can protect our data with the following reason. So in order to protect our network layer data or L3 data, IPsec poses some features. What are those features means? One is an confidentiality, one is an integrity, and third one is an authentication and anti-reply. Okay, how this confidentiality will be achieved? How confidentiality will be achieved means, by encrypting our data. మనం ఏదైతే బెంగళూరు సైట్ నుంచి హైదరాబాద్ సైట్ కి సెండ్ చేస్తున్నామో, once this traffic reaches the IPsec tunnel. Let me show you in the diagram. See here. Uh, Let us consider this is the Hyderabad site and this is an Bangalore site where we are forming the IPsec tunnel between Hyderabad site and Bangalore site. ఇట్లా మనం హైదరాబాద్ సైడ్కి బెంగళూరు సైడ్కి ఐపీసెక్ టనల్ ఫామ్ చేసాం. సో వన్స్ దిస్ IPsec tunnel formed, this IPsec tunnel will provide features to protect your data. What are those features means? One is an confidentiality. How this confidentiality will achieve? Confidentiality, IPsec confidentiality ఎలా అచీవ్ చేస్తుందంటే by encrypting the data, encrypting the traffic or data. Encrypting అంటే తెలుసు కదా మనకి. Encrypting అంటే converting our plain text to the some cryptographic text. Okay. For suppose you are sending, hi, I am ABC like this. Okay. So from Bangalore side, from Hyderabad side, you are sending hi ABC. Once this traffic reaches this IPsec tunnel, what it will do is it will be encrypting this data. This data will be converted to, see here, and let us take, this is the data, and this data is converting to, okay, this data is converting to some cryptographic, means some special characters will be allowed like this. Okay. So the IPsec tunnel is encrypting like this. ఎవరైనా మన ఇంటర్నెట్ లో ఎవరైనా ఈ ప్యాకెట్ ని యాక్సెస్ చేస్తే ఇందులో ఏముందో తెలియదు until unless it is decrypted. Okay. So no one can read this. Only the sender and the receiver. Sender means who are sending this data. Receiver means who are receiving this data. Okay. Once this encrypting data comes to this receiver, what receiver will do is at the end of the IPsec tunnel, the receiver will decrypt this data. Again, after decrypting, it can read, hi, I am ABC. So like this way, this IPsec tunnel will provide the confidentiality. Okay. And second one is an integrity. How integrity will be achieved means by hashing. Integrity will be achieved by hashing. Okay. Here, whatever the data we are encrypting, right? Whenever it is sending over the internet, and whoever are available or public available in the internet, మనకి ఇంటర్నెట్ అంటేనే హోల్ పబ్లిక్, ఎవరైనా ఉండొచ్చు, ఎవరైనా ఏదైనా యాక్సెస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే. But what we are doing is we are doing IPsec tunnel and we are hashing this data. Once this data is hashed, what hash will do is no one in the internet can be able to change this or modify this data. If you are hashing by using an integrity, whenever or whoever accessing in the internet, they can't be able to change this data. They can't be modified once it is hashing. Okay. So that's the way integrity can be achieved in the IPsec tunnel. ఇక్కడ ఉంది కదా మనకి ఈ డేటా అది ఎప్పుడైతే ఇంటర్నెట్ లోకి వదిలినామో, ఫర్ సపోజ్ నేనే ఇంటర్నెట్ లో యాక్సెస్ చేస్తున్నా, ఐ వాంట్ టు హ్యాక్ దిస్ డేటా. So IPsec tunnel already provided confidential integrity. So I can't read this data, what is there in this, and I can't modify this data. So the IPsec tunnel we achieve this confidential integrity by encrypting and hashing this data. Okay. And third one is an authentication. Authentication ఏంటంటే it will be tells you who you are, whether you are an estimate sender or the receiver. Okay. And the sender and receiver will authenticate each other to make sure that we are really talking with the devices we need to. అంతే కదా. ఇప్పుడు అథెంటికేషన్ ఎందుకు చేస్తామంటే వెదర్ ఇప్పుడు సెండర్ అండ్ రిసీవర్ ఉంటారు. నువ్వు కరెక్ట్ సెండర్ కరెక్ట్ రిసీవర్ తెలుసుకోవాలంటే ఫస్ట్ అథెంటికేట్ అవ్వాలి. అథెంటికేట్ అయిన తర్వాతనే మనకి దిస్ డేటా విల్ బి సెండింగ్ ఓవర్ ద IPsec tunnel. For this authentication in the IPsec, there will be two types of authentications. One is an pre-shared key that will be ఈ pre-shared key ఏంటంటే మనం మాన్యువల్ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేయొచ్చు. Second one is a certificate. Okay, the certificate will be used to authenticate. If you are not using pre-shared key, you want to get a certificate. But most probably we are using pre-shared key because we don't have a certificate, and we can modify or we can configure this pre-shared key manual. మనం ఏదైనా కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసుకో pre-shared key. For suppose 1 2 3 4 5 6 కానీ లేదంటే ABC 1 2 3 4 5 ఇట్లా ఈ ప్రీషేడ్ కి మనం ఏదైనా కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఈజీ టు కాన్ఫిగర్ ప్రీషేడ్ కి ఆన్ ద IPsec. బట్ this whatever the pre-shared key that we are configuring on one side, it should be same on the other side as well. That is the main one. Okay, and the fourth one is an anti-replay. Okay, anti-replay. How anti-replay will be achieved means, even if the packet is encrypted and authenticated, an attacker could try to capture these packets and send them again. By using a sequence number, IPsec will be transmitted. It will not transmit any duplicate data. Okay, even though this packet is encrypted and authenticated, some attackers will try to hack that and change the data. Okay, maybe they have some advanced hacking tools and they have modified and changed the data. So what will happen is, this every packet will have the some sequence numbers. Okay, whenever they are changing the data, the sequence number will be changed. So what the role of IPsec is, the sequence, whatever the sequence that we are sending here, the sequence number has not to be changed. Okay, on the receiver the sequence number change అవ్వదు అనమాట. మనం ఎప్పుడైతే ఇక్కడ డేటా చేంజ్ చేసేసామో సీక్వెన్స్ నెంబర్ చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది. ఓకే, అప్పుడు ఏమైపోతుంది, సీక్వెన్స్ నెంబర్ చేంజ్ అయిన ప్యాకెట్ మనకి రిసీవర్ దగ్గరికి వస్తుంది. ఈ రిసీవర్ ఏం చెక్ చేస్తుంది అంటే సీక్వెన్స్ నెంబర్ చెక్ చేస్తుంది. ఇఫ్ ద సీక్వెన్స్ నెంబర్ ఈ చేంజ్, the traffic will be dropped here. This packet will be considered as a duplicate, and the receiver will be dropping that packet. That's where this anti-replay will work. Okay. Any doubts on these four features? Confidentiality, integrity, authentication, and anti-replay. Okay. Perfect. ఇక్కడ చెప్పుకున్నాం కదా, ఇక్కడ మనం ఇవన్నీ IPsec ప్రోటోకాల్స్ అనమాట. ESP AH అండ్ ESP ప్లస్ AH ద IPsec ప్రోటోకాల్స్. అండ్ ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ మెథడ్స్, మనం కాన్ఫిడెన్షియాలిటీలో ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం కదా. ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ చేయాలంటే దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ మెథడ్స్. TES, 3DS, AES ఆర్ ద ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ మెథడ్స్. అండ్ ఇక్కడ అథెంటికేషన్ అంటారు కానీ దీస్ ఆర్ ద నాట్ యాజ్ యాక్చువల్ అథెంటికేషన్, దీస్ ఆర్ ద హ్యాషింగ్ మెథడ్స్. ఓకే, MD5 and SHA are the hashing methods. And we are also using some DP element groups. Okay, DH groups means these are also some type of encryption. It will be helping in the encryption. And what it will do means, it will be providing some group numbers like DH1, DH2, DH5. How it will use is, the lower the number, lesser the security. బికాస్ మనకి డిహెచ్ గ్రూప్ నెంబర్ ఎంత లో ఉంటే అంత సెక్యూరిటీ లెస్ ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ తక్కువ ఉంటుంది, హ్యాషింగ్ తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. సో క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ హ్యాషింగ్ విల్ బి ఈజీ ఇన్ ద లోయర్ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ ద డిహెచ్. ఇఫ్ ద డిహెచ్ group number is high, like DH5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have group 20 also. So higher the number, the more the security. Okay. Okay. And types of VPNs. What are the two types of? We have two types of VPNs. One is an site to site. Site to site means the IPsec, and other one is an remote site VPN. Remote site VPN means the VPN that we are కాన్ఫిగరింగ్ బిట్వీన్ ద ఫైర్ వాల్స్ అండ్ ద విండోస్ మిషన్స్. మనం ఎక్కువ ఇప్పుడు చాలా వరకు వర్క్ ఫ్రమ్ హోమ్ చేస్తుంటారు. వర్క్ ఫ్రమ్ హోమ్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తారంటే దే హ్యావ్ టు కనెక్ట్ టు ద VPN, which is called as remote access VPNs. Okay. Once these VPNs are connected, they will be able to access their internal network. మనకి ఇప్పుడు చూసుకున్నట్టయితే ఇది ఒక ఫైర్ వాల్ ఉంటుంది. We are the PCs which are outside of the network, and this is the internal office network. ఇప్పుడు నీకు దీనికి మధ్య కనెక్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఇక్కడ నువ్వు ఏదైతే ద కనెక్షన్ దట్ ఈస్ ఫార్మింగ్ బిట్వీన్ దిస్ విండోస్ మెషిన్ అండ్ ఫైర్ వాల్, ఇట్ ఈస్ అండ్ రిమోట్ యాక్సెస్ VPN. అండ్ ఇక్కడ ఏముంటాయంటే మనకి ఈ విండోస్ మిషన్ లో మనకి ఒక VPN ఉంటుంది. ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ ఫైర్ వాల్ దేర్ విల్ బి సపరేట్ VPN. మనకి పాలోల్ట్కి గ్లోబల్ ప్రొటెక్టర్ లాగా, తర్వాత ఫార్టీనేట్ ఏమో 40 క్లయింట్, జీస్కలర్ క్లయింట్ సంథింగ్ ఏదో ఉంది. సో ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ ఫైర్ వాల్ దేర్ విల్ బి వన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ విచ్ ఈస్ యూజ్డ్ ఫర్ ద రిమోట్ యాక్సెస్ ఈవెంట్స్. మనం పాలోల్టో యూజ్ చేసినాం కాబట్టి మనకి గ్లోబల్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ అని ఉంటుంది. ఈ గ్లోబల్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ ని మనం ఈ విండోస్ మిషన్ లో ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసేసి వీఆర్ కనెక్టింగ్ దిస్ గ్లోబల్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ VPN విత్ ద firewalls so that they will be securely accessing the internal resources. For suppose these are the internal resources, internal server where they have hosted some if you want to make the attendance for the day. నువ్వు ఇంటి దగ్గర నుంచే వర్క్ చేస్తున్నావు, నువ్వు అటెండెన్స్ మార్క్ చేయాలంటే ఫర్ సపోజ్ ఆఫీస్కి వెళ్తున్నావు అంటే నువ్వు పంచింగ్ చేస్తావు. అదే విధంగా వర్క్ ఫ్రమ్ హోమ్ చేస్తున్నావు అనుకో, యూ హ్యావ్ టు మేక్ అటెండెన్స్, రైట్? సో దర్ ఈస్ వన్ సర్వర్ విచ్ దే ఆర్ హోస్టెడ్ ద అటెండెన్స్ పోర్టల్. So if they want to access this attendance portal securely from the house, so they have to connect the VPN. That is called a remote access VPN. Site to site VPN and that is connecting between from one side to another side. This site to site VPN example is an IPsec. The site to site VPN or IPsec VPNs are both are same. Okay. And before we can protect our packets, we need two IPsec feeds that will, sorry. Yes. Yes, these can got firewall. లేదు లేదు బ్రో. Yes, Srinivas, you have raised your hand. Srinivas, do you have any doubt? Yeah, వినపడుతుంది ఇప్పుడు. ఓకే. ఎస్. ఓకే ఓకే, నువ్వు చెప్పేదే చెప్పు. బట్ సైట్ టు సైట్ VPN అండ్ IPsec బోత్ ఆర్ సేమ్ ఇన్ దిస్ కేస్. Both are not are different because we are forming an IPsec tunnel between from one side to another side to send in traffic from one side to another side. That's where we can call site to site VPN. For this site to site VPN, what we are using is IPsec. IPsec is the example for this site to site VPN. Yeah. And to establish IPsec tunnel, we are using the protocol called IKE, which is an internet key exchange. And in this, we have two phases. మనకి ఏమేమి ఉంటాయంటే IKE phase 1 ఉంటుంది, అదేవిధంగా IKE phase 2 ఉంటుంది. IKE phase 1 లో ఏం జరుగుతుంది, ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి, అదేవిధంగా IKE phase 2 లో ఏం జరుగుతుంది, మనకి ఏమేమి ఉంటాయండి. మనకి యాక్చువల్గా ఇక్కడ IKE phase 1 లో దీస్ త్రీ షుడ్ నెగోషియేట్ ఆల్. మనం ముందర ఏమేమి డిస్కస్ చేసామో అవన్నీ నెగోషియేట్ చేయాలన్నమాట. ఫీచర్స్ డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదా, ఎన్క్రిప్షన్, ఇంటిగ్రిటీ, అథెంటికేషన్, యాంటీ రిప్లే, అంటే అవన్నీ మనకి ఇక్కడ నెగోషియేట్ చేసుకోవాలన్నమాట. So in the phase one, the two peers will negotiate encryption, authentication, hashing, group, and lifetime. Lifetime is also for every IPsec cases, there will be certain lifetime because మనకి ఆ లైఫ్ టైం అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఏమైపోతుంది అక్కడ రీకింగ్ జరుగుతుంది. ఆ రీకింగ్ ఒకవేళ మిస్ అయిందనుకో IPsec టైంలో డౌన్ అయిపోతుంది ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ లైఫ్ టైం. ఓకే. And some other parameters that are required in this phase, and ISACM, Internet Security Association Key Management Protocol session is what the session that is establishing in IK phase one, we can call it an ISACM, Internet Security Association and the Key Management Protocol is a session that is establishing. Okay. And this is also called ISACM tunnel or IK phase one tunnel. Okay. And all the parameters, మనం ఇక్కడ parameters చెప్పుకున్నాం కదా, encryption parameters, authentication parameters, and hashing parameters. These are all called security association parameters. Okay, you have to remember all these key terms. Okay, one is an I key, Internet Key Exchange, which is a protocol we are using in the IPsec. And the session forming in the phase one is called ISACM. ISACM means Internet Key Association and Key Management Protocol. That will be a session establishing in the phase one between two peers. Peers means site one or site two or Hyderabad site or Bangalore site. That are the, we can call it as an IPsec peers. And the collection of parameters that the two devices are negotiating or will use is called security association. Okay. And we can see how the phase one and what are the modes that we are using. In the phase one, IKE phase one. In the phase one, we have two modes, main mode and aggressive mode. We have a main mode and aggressive mode. What will happen in the main mode means, in the main mode, we have mainly 6 messages. In these 6 messages are exchanged between the sender to the receiver and receiver to sender. How the 6 messages will be negotiated or exchanged, we can see. So in the first message, this is from always from sender to the receiver. Okay, sender to receiver. This should be always from the sender to the receiver. Sender means who are initiating the traffic, and the receiver means who are receiving the traffic. Okay, in the first message, what it will be then? We'll be having haggle parameters. నార్మల్గా అయితే మనం సెక్యూరిటీ అసోసియేషన్ పారామీటర్స్ అంటాం, ఎస్ఏ పారామీటర్స్. నేను గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవడానికి అంటే ఐ మీన్ ఫర్ అవర్ ఈజీలీ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఐ విల్ బి కాలింగ్ యాజ్ అన్ హ్యాగల్ పారామీటర్స్. ఓకే, హ్యాగల్ పారామీటర్స్ ఎందుకంటే అంటే మనకి ఇప్పుడు చెప్తా. హెచ్ మీన్స్ హ్యాషింగ్, ఏ మీన్స్ authentication, G means group, L means lifetime, and E means encryption. సో నేను ఈజీగా గుర్తుపెట్టడానికి హ్యాగల్ పారామీటర్స్ అని చెప్పాను. వీఆర్ కాలింగ్ దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఎస్ఏ పారామీటర్స్, సెక్యూరిటీ అసోసియేషన్ పారామీటర్స్. బట్ ఫర్ అవర్ ఈజీ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆర్ ఈజీలీ రిమెంబరింగ్, ఐఎమ్ కాలింగ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ అన్ హ్యాగల్ పారామీటర్స్. H means hashing, A means authentication, G means group, L means lifetime, and E means encryption. These extra parameters will be exchanged between sender to the receiver in the first message, and in the second message, this is from receiver to the sender in reverse. The same SA parameters will be using here. మనం ఇక్కడ ఏ పారామీటర్స్ అయితే యూజ్ చేస్తున్నామో సేమ్ పారామీటర్స్ ఇక్కడ కూడా యూజ్ చేయాలి. ఇఫ్ పారామీటర్స్ ఆర్ మిస్ మ్యాచింగ్, మనకి ఎలా ఇప్పుడు ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ లో మనకి ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి? ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ లో డిఎస్ ఉంది, 3DS ఉంది, ఏఈఎస్ ఉంది. హ్యాషింగ్ లో MD5 ఉంది, SH ఉంది. గ్రూప్ లో ఏమున్నాయి? DH1, DS2, DS5 ఉంది. ఇప్పుడు మనకి వన్ సైడ్ డిఎస్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నామంటే అదర్ సైడ్ కూడా ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ మెథడ్ ఏం యూజ్ చేయాలా? డిఎస్ఏ ఉండాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఒకవేళ అదర్ సైడ్ MD5 హ్యాషింగ్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నామంటే ఈ సైడ్ కూడా MD5 ఉండాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఒకవేళ ఇక్కడ డిఎస్ వాడుతున్నాం, ఇక్కడ డిఎస్ వాడుతున్నాం, పర్ఫెక్ట్. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ MD5 వాడుతున్నాం ఒక సైడ్, అంటే ఒక సైడ్ లో MD5 వాడుతున్నాం, ఇంకో సైడ్ లో షా వాడుతున్నాం. So there will be mismatching, right? There will be mismatching of hashing parameter. So the tunnel won't come up. This is one type of troubleshooting scenario. If phase one is not coming up, phase one is not coming up, first thing you need to check is you need to check the parameters, whether any of the parameter is mismatching. If any parameter mismatches, మనకి ఇక్కడ ఏ పారామీటర్ అయినా మిస్మ్యాచ్ అయినా హ్యాగల్ పారామీటర్స్ ఉన్నాయి కదా, if any of these parameters are mismatching, this IPsec phase one tunnel will won't come up. The first thing you need to check is check the, if phase one tunnel is down, check this Haggle parameters. If any of the parameter is mismatching, okay. The same Haggle parameters that are exchanged in the second message as well. In the third message, this is from sender to the receiver. What it will do is it will be exchanging the key. What will be calling as an this is an DH element key that is exchanging here. ఇక్కడ మనకి గ్రూప్ అన్నాం. ఈ గ్రూప్ ఇక్కడ ఏమైతుందంటే ఇట్ విల్ బి జస్ట్ నెగోషియేటింగ్ వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ సేమ్ ఆర్ నాట్, బట్ the actual the DH element key or DH element group will be exchanging here on the third message. And also in the fourth message, ఈ ఫోర్త్ మెసేజ్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంది, రిసీవర్ నుంచి సెంటర్కి వస్తుంది, అదే సేమ్. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఎక్స్చేంజింగ్ ద సేమ్ DH element key. Whatever the key that we are using here, the same key will also be exchanging between RPS. In the fifth message, what it will do is, it is from sender to the receiver. What it will be exchanging is, it will be exchanging an authentication, okay? Authentication. Why we are sending this authentication in the fifth message is, we have to authenticate each of the methods, right? Sorry, each piece, whether it is an legitimate sender or legitimate receiver, right? So we can be sending this authentication in the fifth message. This is for identification, okay? Just note of it. This is for the identification of sender and the receiver. And this fifth message is in the encrypted format, because why we are encrypting it? In the authentication, we are sending in sensitive information. Sensitive information అంటే మనకి ఇప్పుడు క్రెడెన్షియల్స్ కానీ, ఒకవేళ యూజర్ నేమ్ పాస్వర్డ్ కానీ, లేదంటే వెదర్ we are sending an IP address of the sender, okay? So those information should not be exposed to the internet. So here in the fifth message, these authentications, whatever the authentication that we are providing here, that should be encrypted. In the sixth message, it is from receiver to the sender. So this is also same. It is also sending an authentication. This is for the identification. Okay, identification of if you are the legitimate receiver or not. This is also in the encrypted format. The same way how we are encrypting here, the sixth message is encrypting here. So these are the six messages that is exchanged between between sender and the receiver in the main mode. If you come into the aggressive mode, we have only the three messages in the aggressive mode. Okay, in the aggressive mode we have only three messages. Okay, what these three messages will be means, see here, whatever the Haggle parameters and key exchange and authentication, it will be sending in the first message itself. Okay, in the first message of aggressive mode, it is from sender to the receiver. Always first message is from the sender to the receiver. Okay, what it will do is, it will be sending Haggle parameters, and again key exchange or DH key. It will be sending an DH key, And also, what is the third message? Third message in the sense, the sender from the receiver. It is an authentication. Okay. This whatever the messages this sender is sending from the receiver in the main mode, the sender will send in the first message itself. The Haggle parameters DHT authentication is sending in the second message itself. What will be there in the second message? మనకు second message లో ఏముంటాయి? The same thing will be in there in the second message. This is from the receiver to the sender. What it will be there? The same Haggle parameters, DHP, Haggle parameters, and again DHP, and this is the authentication. Authentication will be sending. This is for the identification whether you are a legitimate user or not. Along with it, it is sending some acknowledgement. Okay, it is sending an acknowledgement. In the third message, this is from the sender to the receiver. The same, it is responding to this second message. It is just sending an acknowledging the second message. These are the three messages that is sending in the aggressive mode. What is the main difference that you have identified in this main mode and aggressive mode? Can anyone notice? In the phase one of IPsec or IKE, we are seeing main mode and aggressive mode, right? We have discussed main mode and aggressive mode. And what is the main difference that you have identified in this main mode and aggressive mode? This will be using these two modes will be using in the phase one only. Okay. But what is the main difference that we are using? So in most preferably the main mode will be used, the aggressive mode will be used less. Okay. If you want to form an IPsec phase one IPsec tunnel, in the phase one, this main mode will be by default this main mode will be used. Why? Because there is one difference between main mode and aggressive mode. Can anyone notice or can anyone tell? Any guess? Any guesses why we are using preferably we are use main mode in the phase one apart from that aggressive mode? Because if you see here, the fifth and sixth messages are encrypted. Okay, encrypted means we are not exposing our user credentials or sender or receiver information here in the fifth and sixth message. Fifth and sixth messages are encrypted. If you see here, there is no encryption in the aggressive mode. We are seeing encryption in the main mode, but we are not seeing any encryption in the aggressive mode. That is the main reason main mode is most preferable than aggressive mode in the phase. That is the main reason because in the main mode we are seeing an encryption because the fifth and sixth messages are encrypted and there is no encryption. There is no such thing of encryption in the aggressive mode. That's where the main mode is main preferable in the IPsec phase. This main mode will be mainly used in the site-to-site VPNs. Okay, when you are configuring site-to-site VPNs, this main mode will be used mainly, and this aggressive mode will be used in the when you are configuring remote access VPNs. Okay, that's where you can be using main mode and aggressive mode. If you want differences between main mode and aggressive mode, we'll be discussing here actually because in the main mode, we have six messages. This is one difference. And aggressive mode will have three messages. Six messages, three messages. And the main mode is an slow process because it has to process six messages. That's where it is a slow process. And aggressive mode is an fast process. ఎందుకంటే మనకి ఇక్కడ త్రీ మెసేజెస్ ఉన్నాయి ఈ 3 మెసేజ్ ప్రాసెస్ అవ్వడానికి తీసుకునే టైం తక్కువ ఉంటుంది. అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ 6 మెసేజెస్, అగ్రెసివ్ మోడ్ విల్ బి అండ్ ఫాస్టర్ ప్రాసెస్. And main mode is then secure mode. Main mode is a secure method because the fifth and sixth messages are encrypted. There is no security in the aggressive mode. That is the that is the main difference between main mode and aggressive. Okay. First difference is 6 messages, and we have 3 messages here. And to process this 6 messages, it will take time, right? So main mode is in slow process, and aggressive mode is in fast process. And in the main mode, we have encryption supported. So main mode is in more secure, and aggressive mode is less secure. Less secure is it's not a secure mode. Okay. Main mode is mainly used in the site to site. The main mode when you are configuring the site to site VPNs, this main mode only will be used. Okay. Understood? Do you have any queries on this phase one? Main mode and aggressive mode. Yes, Srinivas garu. అవును. ఇదా? ఆ. మనం ఏదైనా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ అండ్ ఇది మనకి ఇదే యూజ్ చేయాలని ఏం లేదు. మనం ఏదైనా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. డిఎస్ అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, 3DS అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, ఏఎస్ అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మెథడ్స్ డిఫరెన్స్ కానీ ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ మాత్రం సేమ్ జరుగుతుంది. ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ మాత్రం సేమ్ అవుతుంది. డిఎస్ ఫుల్ ఫామ్ తెలియదు కానీ ఐ విల్ సీ అండ్ ఐ విల్ లెట్ యూ నో. ఇది యాక్చువల్ గా అథెంటికేషన్ అనం. దిస్ ఈస్ ద హ్యాషింగ్ వన్. అదే చెప్పినా కదా, మనం ఇదే యూజ్ చేయాలని ఏం లేదు. మనం ఏదైనా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మనకి కొన్ని అంటే కొన్ని మెథడ్స్ ఇచ్చారు. మనం MD5 అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, షా అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. దాంట్లో దిస్ ఈస్ నాట్ అండ్ యూ వాంట్ యూజ్ దిస్ ఓన్లీ, యూ వాంట్ యూజ్ దిస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ లైక్ దట్. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ యూజ్ షా, యూ కెన్ యూజ్ షా. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ MD5, యూ కెన్ యూజ్ MD5. దట్స్ ఇట్. లేదు లేదు, అట్లేం లేదు. MD5 ఏ ఉండేది. ద పేరే MD5 అని పెట్టారు. షాకి అదే ఫుల్ ఫామ్స్ చూద్దాం నెక్స్ట్. లేదు లేదు, ఇట్ ఈస్ రికార్డింగ్. ఎనీ డౌట్స్? ఎనీ అదర్ డౌట్స్? Yeah, if you don't have any doubts, we can move in and phase two. Okay. And in the phase two, we have only one mode, which is an quick mode. In this quick mode also, we have 3 messages. Okay. All these 3 messages are we have the first message, second message, third message. All the 3 messages are encrypted. We can't see what is what information we are transferring in the quick mode of the 3 messages. Do you know why these 3 messages are encrypted? We have to form the phase two tunnel once the phase one tunnel is formed. Okay, if phase two tunnel is not formed, the phase two tunnel will won't come up. So these whatever the messages that we are exchanging between sender and the receiver of the phase two, all the messages are encrypted. Do you know why all these messages are encrypted? Any guess? Because why we are saying these 3 messages are encrypted means what I told you before, the phase two tunnel will be forming only the phase one tunnel will form. వన్స్ ది ఫేజ్ టనల్ విల్ ఫామ్, ఫేజ్ 2 టనల్ విల్ ఫామ్. సో ఇక్కడ మనకి ఫేజ్ 1 అనుకుందాం. ఇది phase 1 tunnel already formed in అనుకుందాం. Once this phase 1 tunnel will form, all the phase 2 information will be flowing in this phase 1. So this already phase 1 tunnel form అయింది. మనకి phase 1 tunnel form అయిన తర్వాత all the phase 2 information is flowing inside this phase 1. So we can't see what are the data that is transferring, what are the information that is transferring in the phase 2 because of this phase 1 tunnel. That's why all the messages in the phase 1 or sorry phase 2 in the encrypted format. Because of this, already we found phase 1 tunnel, and all the information that is sending in the phase 2 will be seen as an encrypted. Okay, you got the point? Why we are if you see the packet capture, all the phase 2 messages, all the phase 2 quick mode messages will be in the encrypted format because of the phase 1. All the phase 2 information will be traveling or traversing in the phase 1 tunnel. This phase 1 tunnel is encrypting all this data. Okay, we can't see any other data. However, if you want to form a phase 2 tunnel, there are parameters like Haggle parameters. We have an Paggle parameters. Okay, we can also exchanging the Paggle parameters. P means protocol. Same A means authentication. G means group. L means lifetime. And E means encryption. Okay. These are the parameters that are exchanging or negotiating between sender and the receiver in the phase 2. If you want to form the phase 2, these are the parameters that want to exchange. Protocols. Protocol. What are the protocols that we have discussed about? We have ESP protocol and AH. ESP means encapsulation security payload, and AH means authentication header. Okay, these are the parameters that are using here in the IPsec protocol, and authentication group lifetime encryption. What are the parameters you are using in the phase 2 of the IPsec? In one side, other side also should be same. If you are using ESP on this side, you have to use the ESP on the other side. If you are using AH on the other side, you are using AH on the other side. And authentication method. If you are using same pre-shared key on the one side, you need to use the pre-shared key on the other side as well. So the parameters, whatever using on the sender, the parameters on the other side also should be same. But this phase 2 and phase 1 parameters should not be same. Okay, మనం సేమ్ అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, డిఫరెన్స్ అయినా యూజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇక్కడ phase 1 లో phase 2 లో యూజ్ చేసేటివి. బట్ in the phase 1 of the sender and phase 1 of the receiver should be same, and phase 2 parameters of the sender and phase 2 parameters of the receiver should be same. Okay, don't confuse with phase 1 parameters and phase 2 parameters. మనం phase 1 లో కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసేది phase 2 లో ఉండాలా అంటే not necessary. It is not necessary. But what are the parameters that you are using here, that should be same on the other side as well in both phases. Okay, don't confuse with phase 1 parameters and phase 2 parameters. Understood? అర్థమైంది కదా? Any questions on this? Okay, I will take it as no, and we'll be going with IPsec protocols. What are the IPsec protocols we have discussed here? One is an ESP. ESP means encapsulation security payload. Okay, encapsulation security payload. We are మనం ఏమంటాం అయితే ESP అనే protocol అన్నాం. So for every protocol there will be protocol number. Okay, for ESP protocol we are using the protocol number as 50. and AH means authentication header. This is an authentication header. We are using the protocol number 51. This is the payload. Okay. After forming an phase one in the IPsec phase one tunnel and phase two tunnel. I also forgot to mention one thing here. This is an IPsec, right? IPsec uses UDP protocol. Okay. UDP protocol, which is the port number 500. IPsec uses UDP protocol 500 using the protocol UDP, and it is using the protocol 500. Okay. And after the UDP protocol or UDP packet, this is the ESP packet or AH packet will be an payload for this UDP. Okay. And what are the main difference between ESP and H? We have two protocols, right? ESP, we have ESP and we have AH. In the ESP, it will be we are using as a payload, right? So ESP will be providing authentication, integrity, and encryption. Okay, these are the three things that ESP will provide. But AH header will provide only authentication and integrity. Okay? Authentication and integrity. Okay. So most preferable, we are using ESP. When you are forming the IPsec tunnel, we are using the protocol ESP because ESP will provide authentication and integrity. Along with authentication and integrity, it is providing an encryption. But authentication header will not providing an encryption. It will provide only authentication and integrity. So most probably ESP will be used here because of the extra protection. We have authentic encryption as well. Okay, that is the main reason between ESP and AH. ESP means encapsulation security payload, where it will be providing authentication, integrity, and encryption. Okay, మనకి ఇక్కడ authentication header లో ఏమేమి ఉంటాయంటే మనకి it is providing only authentication and integrity. It cannot provide encryption. That's where ESP is a protocol that are using majorly when you are forming IPsec tunnel. Okay. Any doubts? ఇక్కడ మనకి ఫేజ్ వన్ లో వస్తే మెయిన్ మోడ్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం. ఓకే, తర్వాత మనకి ప్రోటోకాల్ అయితే ఈఎస్పి యూజ్ చేస్తాం బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దే ఆర్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ఎక్స్ట్రా లేయర్ కాల్డ్ ఎన్క్రిప్షన్. ఓకే, ఇంత మెయిన్ మోడ్ లో కూడా మనకి ఎన్క్రిప్షన్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం, ఇక్కడ ఈఎస్పి కూడా ఎన్క్రిప్షన్. బట్ don't confuse, these are the parameters. If you want to form phase one and phase two, these are the parameters that you need to exchange, and this is actual payload. Okay, all the data will be all your actual data. Okay, actual data will be carrying here. See, once if you want to form IPsec, this phase one phase two will be helpful. Okay, సో ద యాక్చువల్ పేలోడ్ ఇఫ్ యూ మనం ఇక్కడ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా, మనం ఇక్కడ ఒక పీసీ ఉంటుంది, ఇక్కడ ఒక పీసీ ఉంది అనుకో, మనం ఈ పీసీ నుంచి ఈ పీసీకి పింగ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ద పింగ్ డేటా, మన పింగ్ డేటా ఉంది కదా, ద ఫేజ్ వన్ ఫేజ్ టూ పారామీటర్స్ ఈస్ హెల్ప్ఫుల్ టు బిల్డ్ అండ్ ఫేజ్ వన్ ఫేజ్ టూ టనల్. సో యాక్చువల్ ట్రాఫిక్ ఫ్లో అవ్వాలి అంటే మనకి మనం ఇక్కడ నుంచి పింగ్ చేస్తున్నాం అనుకో, ఆ పింగ్ డేటాని ఈ ప్రోటోకాల్ యూస్ చేస్తుంది అనమాట యాజ్ అ పేలోడ్. ఓకే, that's why we are calling these as an payloads. Payload means actual data is carried through these protocols. Actual data will be carrying in the ESP or AS protocol. Most probably we are using ESP, right? So the actual data, our ping data will be sending via ESP protocol. Okay, understood? And we have apart from IPsec protocols, we have IPsec modes. First one is an transport mode. Second one is an tunnel mode. What is the transport one? What is the tunnel mode? Means in the transport mode, whatever the data we are sending, it will be sending as it is from sender to the receiver. Like how means, see, in first of all, we can take the transport mode. In this transport mode, what is doing is whatever data we are sending. If you are sending data from sender to receiver, what are the things we have? We have headers, right? We have L2 header, and again after L2 header we have L3 header. After L3 header we have L4 header. After L4 header we have some data. Data means this is a payload. Whatever the information that is that generated on the sender, it will be sending as is without adding any extra header. Okay? Without any adding any extra header, it will be sending as is to the receiver in the transport mode. But what actually happen in the tunnel mode means if you are going into the tunnel mode, in the tunnel mode, what it will be doing is it will be having same data, right? L2 we have an L3 header, we have an L3 header, we have L4 header, and data as a tunnel. What it will do is once this data comes on the IPsec tunnel, if you are considering tunnel mode, what it will be is it will be adding new L3 header before the original L3 header. Okay, how it is like, see here we have let's say it is L2 header means we have new L3 header, and before this L3 L4 data, it is protecting our actual traffic. Okay, L4, and we have a data. So by adding a new L3 header, it is actually protecting our data. Okay, this is our actual data. It is protecting our. We can call it as an. It is encrypting our original data is encrypting by a new L3 header. This tunnel mode will add the new L3 header, and it will be sending out to the receiver. Whenever the hacker or the any user sitting on the internet, if they want to access, they want to access only the new L3 header. They won't be able to access this actual data. This new L3 header, what will be having it? L3 header means we have source IP destination IP. What will be there in the source IP destination IP means we will be having some public IP address. If they are accessing public IP address, there won't be use of those public IP address. So that's where the new L3 header is protecting our actual data that so that we will be safeguarding our actual data. Okay, that's where this tunnel mode will be preferable apart from this transfer mode. In the transfer mode, we are not seeing such type of adding new L3 header before our original data. Okay, that is the main reason this tunnel mode will be used. This tunnel mode is a preferable or by default tunnel mode will be used because it is adding a new L3 header which is protecting our actual data or this is an original data. This is we have some public IP address in this L3 header. Okay, this is all about the IPsec modes. These are the transport mode and tunnel mode. Do you have any doubts? Any doubts on this? Types of VPNs completed. Phase one, phase two, transport mode, tunnel mode. These are the main mode messages. See here, if you see the packet capture, in the first message, we are sending the haggle parameters here. In response to this first message, second message also will have a haggle parameter. The same haggle parameters it is using here. And this is on third message, fourth message. If you see fifth and sixth message, you can see here encrypted data. Whatever the information that is sending in the fifth and sixth messages, all this data is encrypted. But if you see in the aggressive mode, you can see here in the identification, we are seeing identification data. If you see here, we are sending some IP address, right? It is not encrypted. We are sending as it is, like in the plain text. If someone in the internet sitting and they are able to, if they don't, but if they are able to capture, this information will be seen by the other user, other who are sitting in the internet. That's why this aggressive mode will be mostly not traceable while configuring site-to-site VPN. And this is an message two. In this is a message three. This is just some acknowledgement like that. Okay. In the phase two, all the three messages in the first message, second message, and third message, all the three messages are encrypted because it is all the information of the phase two is flowing through the phase one tunnel. Already we formed the phase one tunnel, which is protecting our phase two tunnel. Okay, phase two data. That's where we are seeing an encrypted data. And IPsec protocols, authentication header protocols, and encryption failure. And if you see here transport mode, whatever the IP header, TCP header data, this is an original packet, and it is sending the without any new IP header in before IP header. If you see in the tunnel mode, it is adding a new IP header here. Apart from IP header, TCP header data, it is adding a new IP header so that it will be encrypted. All our original data is encrypting with the new IP header, and it will be sending the traffic through the tunnel. This is actual transport mode, and this is a tunnel mode of that ESP protocol. Okay. This is all about IPsec, and you can grab this PPT. This PPT is more helpful. ఈ PPT లో మీకు చాలా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఉంది. Okay, you can use this PPT, and if you want any doubts till now, any doubts? Okay, if we don't have any doubts, we can wind up this session here. And you can grab that PPT and you can go through that PPT one more time so that you will be able to understand. Tomorrow, we will discuss the lab, how we can configure phase one parameters, phase two parameters, okay? And how can we, after forming phase one, phase two tunnel, we have to ping from one side to other side so that if it is reaching from one side to other side, you will be able to successfully form the IP tunnels. Okay? We can check what are the things that we need to do and what are the things that we need to check on the IPsec of both sides. Okay. If you don't have any notes, we can wind up the session here. Thanks for joining.